I added this compact sub to my setup, and the difference was obvious within minutes. The low end filled in without overwhelming voices, and movies immediately felt fuller and more grounded. Installation was straightforward once the app found the unit, and pairing with my existing soundbar happened quickly. For the size, it delivers far more impact than I expected from a small cabinet.
What I liked most was how the bass stayed controlled instead of booming. Kick drums had punch, cinematic effects carried weight, and dialogue still stayed clear in the center. It gave me more depth without turning the room into mud. That balance matters because I wanted stronger low frequencies, but I did not want to lose detail in the rest of the mix.
In my room, the integration with the rest of the system felt seamless. I run a soundbar and rear speakers, and once this sub joined the chain, transitions between fronts, surrounds, and bass became smoother. Action scenes felt more cohesive, and music gained body at lower volume. It made the whole setup sound more complete rather than just louder in one frequency band.
I appreciate that the footprint is manageable for real living spaces. It tucks in more easily than larger models, but still pushes enough energy to make a medium room feel alive. During evening listening, I could keep volume reasonable and still feel satisfying extension. That practicality is a big plus, because performance only matters if the hardware fits naturally into daily life.
Setup flow was mostly smooth, and once configured, it has been reliable in daily use. I can start music, switch to TV, and return without redoing anything. The system remembers its behavior and keeps bass support consistent across content. That reliability is what turned this from a novelty purchase into something I use every day instead of only for occasional movie nights.
Value-wise, this model makes sense when I compare size, output, and ease of integration. It is not trying to replace every larger subwoofer, but it gets remarkably close for many rooms while being easier to place. I understand why people call it a sweet spot, because it gives meaningful low-end improvement without demanding a huge footprint or complicated wiring.
I noticed the biggest emotional change during film scenes with quiet build-ups and sudden impact. Before, those moments felt thinner. Now there is real weight behind transitions, so tension and release come through properly. Even simple streaming content feels upgraded. The room does not just get louder, it feels more dimensional, which makes watching sessions more engaging and less fatiguing.
Music also benefited more than I expected. Bass guitars and electronic lows gained shape, and percussion sounded more physically present without masking vocals. I could keep the same playlist and hear better layering in tracks I already knew well. That was the giveaway for me that integration was done right, because improvement showed up across genres, not only in blockbuster sound effects.
There are still a few setup details that can trip people up, especially when tiny device labels or codes are hard to read in low light. I had to slow down and verify each step carefully. Once past that, though, operation became simple. I would call the process front-loaded. A little patience at install time, then very little maintenance after everything is in place.
From a design standpoint, I like that it does not dominate the room visually. The enclosure is understated, and placement options are flexible enough that I did not need to redesign furniture. That matters in shared spaces where equipment has to coexist with everyday living.